Hey folks, just getting warmed up here actually, first playing of the day and having some caffeine as well. Hope you're doing well. Indeed a cookie, how you doing? Do I know any El Cisneros stuff from his band Ohm? I don't, unfortunately, but I'll check out El Cisnero. So thank you. His band Ohm. I'll check it out for sure. And Derek Bosson, how you doing? Thank you. Quick question: any reason why you prefer putting the right hand thumb on the E string rather than float it across the strings, particularly when playing the G and C? Yeah, it's because that's just what naturally feels the best. I've tried doing the floating thumb. It doesn't work for me. Yeah, it doesn't. Because I need to have an anchor. You know what I mean? And it could be because, you know, my thumb is double jointed, so I can, you know, it just feels more comfortable doing it like this. It's another reason why I don't have a ramp on my basses. I've tried the ramp, it doesn't work for me, and because of my double jointed thumb. My thumb needs to have an anchor, like a hole to kind of just sit in. And so, yeah, my thumb will, when I'm playing up high, it's just what feels comfortable for me. I know there's some cats who do the floating thumb. I think, you know, in terms of technique, you'll put your thumb where it naturally wants to rest, where you can feel you can get the optimal playing from. You know what I mean? And everyone's hand and fingers are built differently. Some people have a bigger hand, some people have smaller, and so that's the thing. I don't think there's anything wrong with resting your thumb on something, and like I said, I do it because it gives me stability. With this hand, it gives me more control. When it's floating like this, I can't get the attack that I want. I don't have the flexibility. I need to have some sort of grounding. You know what I mean? So that's how I do it. John Axe, what's up, man? No, this is not got a match. Try again though, but I know, yes, Thundercat has been throwing this one in, and I think he also has thrown in got a match at some point in his sets. But this is a Chick Corea. It's a Chick Corea tune, but it's not got a match. And this one I'm kind of just interesting choice for like first playing of the day, trying to navigate these kinds of changes, which is really interesting. But it's a fun challenge, you know. And so Derek said, "How are you muting the B if perched on the E while playing the G and the C strings? Then you have no fret wrap." Yeah, no, it's a great question. So when playing, So the way that it's being muted, so my thumb is sitting here, and my thumb is muting just by my thumb touching the B string. So it's sitting right here, and with it sitting right here, my thumb is dampening the B string. That's what's going on. Also, for the longest time, I've worked on making sure that when I'm playing up high, that none of the other strings are rattling. So it's kind of like a natural muting technique, you know, when playing here, and especially when playing chords and all that. I'll adjust my technique. If I'm doing this kind of thing, obviously you can see my right hand is muting the lower strings, because obviously any little vibration is going to trigger that, right? So that's what's going on. Now when playing melodies up high, again, my thumb goes right here. So it's muting these two lower strings. And then what about the other strings? Well, then I've got my pinky and my ring finger that kind of sits around on the other strings. And then also there is my fretting hand. You know, when I'm playing, there's times where this hand, the fingers, are going to be touching the other strings, and that helps with muting as well. So, and look, I do have a fret wrap, but I only use it for looks. That's really what it is. It's on one of my other basses here. I've never used a fret wrap for anything because I haven't needed to for any muting or anything like that. It's definitely both these hands. They do the muting, and exactly right and left hand muting. I would say what helped more with that technique was when I was getting into Rocco Prestia, like in my teens. You know, I went through a whole like Tower of Power like phase, and just a whole Rocco phase, because his whole thing is he does a lot of fret hand muting. So it involves a lot of like kind of bunched up fingers. And even and this is the other thing too, is that trying to play Tower Power tunes on a 6-string bass is pretty difficult, because just, you know, in terms of trying to get the sound, with the technique is how the sound it happens, and you have to play it a certain way. Obviously, Rocco was playing a 4-string P bass, you know, for majority of his Tower of Power career. So that meant that, like, okay, I gotta be able to mute the lower strings, especially the low B string. You know, otherwise, if I didn't mute it, that low string is eventually, and if you're listening with headphones or some really good speakers, you can hear the B string rattling, right? So that meant when I was doing this, these two fingers here were naturally muting that low B string. At least the ring finger, for sure. Just kind of is literally just sitting right there. Know what I mean? Now, in terms of like the other strings, the higher strings, well, this hand is muting the higher strings because you're playing across like here. And with Rocco, he didn't play so much vertically. He played more horizontally in his style of playing. I mean, this is a technique that he developed himself. There was a sound he's trying to figure out, and he just did it. He had his way of being able to control. So that meant that, you know, when he would do it, sure, there would be the occasional playing up here. You know, like on What Is Hip, you know, and because it's so quick, and you definitely you should all try that. It's a great string crossing exercise. Especially at those tempos. Even, you know, you know what I mean? So I hope that's helpful. And the great question, Derek. This is what these live streams and all that are all about. Asking all these questions about anything to do with bass playing, techniques, concepts, gear, anything like that. And so if you have any questions about that, just drop it down in the chat. And if you just joined on, welcome. Welcome to another edition here of the Bass with Benjamin live stream. And I'm really glad that you can be here. If you're a first-time, watcher, viewer, please like and subscribe to my channel, and that way you'll be able to get notified whenever I go live, which is every single week, and also anytime I post stuff here too. And if you look in the description box down below, all my links to all my Bass with Benjamin resources. More on that a little later. We've got people in the chat here. Yes, Darrell J, yeah, right and left hand muting, exactly. Super important. I think, muting is one of the great tools that us bassists can use and need to use to be able to manipulate the sound in many different ways. Obviously, to do with tone, dynamics, but also like with groove as well, like pocket, because just like with Rocco, the reason why he figured out this fret hand muting is because he wanted to control the length of the note. The length of the note was so. This is how deep it is. The length of the note is so important, because he wanted it to be able to fit in with what David Garibaldi was playing with his linear style of drumming, with all the ghost notes and all that. So Rocco wanted to make sure that he wasn't getting in the way. He could play some ghost notes. He didn't want to play too many long notes, so that was the thing, because David was doing some great stuff, And so that's why it was super important. And you gotta remember, this is like in the mid to late 60s he was doing this, and the electric bass was still very young. I mean, at that point it was just only maybe just a little over like 15 years old at that point. But this is just the development of how we play the instrument. And so to today, these are techniques that are widely used by everyone, especially a lot of studio pros, because in the studio, yeah, you got to make sure that all these little intricate elements are right on point. So if you're not too familiar with muting, I definitely recommend getting familiar with it, and how you can practice it. Well, just like with anything else, use it on stuff that you already know. So you can even just break it down to like even just a few notes, right? So if you're trying to get like the sound, the technique of like fret hand muting, and I'll break down what I'm doing shortly. Just play it anyway, and then you can like put it into scales and arpeggios, and then of course the picking hand, you want to do palm muting as well. That's another form of muting, and you would use that in a different context as well. Like it's such a versatile and valuable technique. Just muting in general. I'll get more into it. I just want to get into some of these in the chat here. And Gil, how you doing? Nice to see you. Yeah, 6-string muting, definitely. It can. You just gotta, just like with anything, you just gotta like really show your hands, like, okay, how to do this. And the cool thing about just playing, a guitar instrument is that our hands can do so much manipulation with the sound, and how the sound is played, and how it's the strings are plucked, and how the sound does get out. I like to use this concept that I got from the great Rufus Reid, who is one of the greatest jazz upright bassists and minds and humans. And I don't think he plays electric. He's mainly an upright cat, but he likes to call the fretting hand, or this hand, the sound. And this hand here that plucks the notes is the sound producer. That is just so effective for me, and it just totally makes sense. Yeah, you're getting the sound because obviously we're choosing the notes, but you want to make sure you do have good technique on this end, so that when this hand comes to play, you're getting a good tone, getting a nice attack. Whereas if you are kind of sloppy on this end, it's going to produce that. And especially if you're on an instrument, modern instruments these days, a lot of them are built pretty well to where they can really bring out a lot of imperfections in someone's playing, as opposed to like an old vintage Fender, which, you can kind of get away with some things, But if you have a modern instrument, something like this, because it's so precise, it will bring that out. So that's the thing. But, you should have a great technique if you want good efficiency, and also for your hands to be able to move around properly, too. And so going back to what Derek was asking, you know, about the muting of the other strings, that's where it's so important. And that's why being able to do muting with both hands is really important. I'll break them down some more. Just so yeah, good to see you, Gil. And John Axe is saying, to be fair, the spacing does help with the slap muting because you're not forcing your thumb through the 16, 17 millimeters. Yeah, exactly. So that's the thing. Obviously, if you've got a tighter string spacing, but even then, you know, I would say this bass here is probably has the tightest string spacing out of all the basses I have. But I can still put my thumb through here. But I know on some of the Ibanez sound gears, they have even more, as like 16 millimeter. But I can still put my thumb, even if it doesn't like go all the way through like that, I can still put my thumb to where it's muting for sure. And then with you know, the palm muting is no problem because you're using your palm. If you do have a wider string spacing, then I mean, yeah, it's this is the thing. It's like when you're moving, your hand is pivoting like this. You know what I mean? Like that. That's the thing. So, and for me, it's definitely it's just sitting like this. It really is. And then some people have a big enough hand to where they can just actually just rest their thumb on the B string. And sometimes it's like that for me. I can but naturally my thumb wants to go down here. So that's the thing. And I appreciate it, Daryl J. Liked and subscribe. I'm glad that you could be here. I'm glad all of you could be here. It's really great to see you. And again, you got some nerdy bass questions or anything like that, just drop it down in the chat. This is what this is what we're here to do, you know. Gil is saying, every time I slap on the 6, I have to be really careful with other strings not to make my sound muddy in the process. Yeah, that's the thing about, you know, on anything, for me, anything above a 5-string bass, just you know, doing some thumping. So what's going on here? So when I play something like this, so what's going on with the B? How come that's not ringing? Well, first of all, when I did this, it's actually my forearm that is touching the B string. So right there, we have something that's muting. But then when I go here, my middle finger is touching that B string over here. So I've got muting going on. And this is not something I developed. This is something that just naturally happened. It wasn't something I was conscious about until years later. One of my students was like, how are you, like, you know, muting? I'm like, and I had to actually kind of just observe what I was doing. And this is the thing, is that yes, do I prefer, if I'm doing some thumping and all that, to do it on something that's like a 4-string or a 5-string? Absolutely, because there's the whole thing of like when you pop to get here. But yeah, when I'm playing here, the fingertip is muting the strings, right? So that's the thing right here, is that I'm doing it in that way. Exactly, forearm muting. You know, who would have thought, right? But this is the thing. It's like, and because, you know, yes, we got more strings. So like when you put your forearm like this, there's of course the B string is gonna be like that, you know. Now what if I want to do some thumping on the low B? Well, you know, it just moves up and it clears the space. But yeah, typically, you know, for slapping, I mean, this has a great slap sound. You know, but if I'm gonna be doing like slap stuff, it's gonna be mainly more basic kind of stuff. You know, say if I'm playing a tune like, let's see, say like, you know, Never Too Much, Luther Vandross, you know. You know, that's totally fine and straightforward to do on this. I'm not going to try and do something like Victor Wooden's, you know, like classical thump. You know, I don't think I remember it anymore, but. See, even the string spacing is kind of getting me to do that. And here comes the... See, I can't even... And because I have the C string, it doesn't really allow me to do it the way that I would typically do it. Yeah, let's see. Sounds like, you know, when you have one of those bubble machines shooting out bubbles. That's what it sounds like right now. So in terms of, you know, when I'm going to do some slap, it's going to be straightforward kind of stuff. And maybe, you know, even... That's probably like the extent of getting to it. Now, obviously, you got some cats like who are great at slapping on the 6-string bass. There's a lot of them. I mean, I've seen Victor Wooden slap incredibly well on a 6-string. You know, I think his technique allows to be able to do it on no matter how many strings you got. But the first person for me who I really was like, whoa, was Bill Dickens. Who plays the 7-string, and he's ridiculous, absolutely insane. Even someone like Keith Horn, who else? Andrew Goucher. These, you know, cats who would just be tearing it up. I know there's way more. I mean, obviously Les Claypool plays a 6-string. I know he plays 6 and a 4, but he'll play a 6-string fretless, and he'll do some crazy thumping and slapping on it. So that's the cool thing. And Ride NC, how you doing? If you could give any advice in regards to building an efficient and effective practice schedule, what would it be? Great question. That's really that's cool. So this is how I like to lay it out. First of all, you want, especially, you know, a lot of us, we like to be ambitious with, you know, oh yes, thank you, John X. Tetsuro Sukurai of Cassiopeia, absolutely beast of a player. And might I add in Alain Caron from UZEB, also another ridiculous bassist with a really unique technique. Like I said, there's so many cats. I can't name them all off the top of my head right now. But you know, anyone that you see doing that, incredible. So in terms of an effective and efficient practice schedule, what would it be? So first, like I was saying, we can be ambitious with being like, okay, you know, I'm gonna practice like 3 hours a day or whatever. And I think it's great to have that ambition. All right. I think it's really good. For majority of us, sometimes we are terrible at planning our day. We've got other responsibilities and all that we got to take care of outside of bass playing. And usually, what happens, and this has been a case with a lot of my students who, when they are first studying with me, is that they've had this thing of like they've had a busy week or whatever. Some of them have 9-to-5 jobs and all that, and they have this idea like at the end of the week, okay, yeah, I'm gonna like do all this practice, and then it doesn't happen because they're tired from and burnt out from the week. And so then another week goes by and they haven't like practiced, and then they feel like really frustrated and guilty because it's like, oh man, and they feel like they're getting worse. So first thing is like, okay, you want to manage the time, just like with anything else. If you're scheduling your day, schedule in your practice time. If it's something where you need to maybe get up a little, like an hour earlier, just so you can do that. If you have families and all that, if you have kids, obviously that's a big responsibility. And sometimes, before they wake up, maybe get in a little bit of practice time, even if it's like 30 minutes to an hour, if you can. But schedule it in so that you have it. And even if you get in 30 minutes a day, that's something. If you do this every single day, you're on the instrument, you can do something. Now, say for example, you have an hour to practice, right? And a good way is, well, first of all, I'm totally cool with the idea of like having some practice sessions being where you just play freely. That's important to do that. You need to have that. But if you're trying to also work on some concepts or anything like challenging or that, it's good to have like a structure for that. So the first 5 to 10 minutes should be spent on, okay, just getting initiated on the instrument. So that's tuning it up, just playing your first notes, just getting a feel for the instrument, and also a feel for yourself physically too, because every single day is totally different of how you're going to be feeling when you're on the instrument. It's not going to feel like the last time that you picked it up. So that's another thing there is just have 10 minutes to just kind of like ground yourself and get into the instrument, tune it up, always tune it up. And then once you're in that, then, and actually I'm just going to pull up, because I do, for my students, when we first start, I give them all I have a diagram that I've created that helps them how to get the most out of your practice session. Let me just pull up my little cheat sheet. I just want to make sure that I'm following it properly, and I think that's important. Where is it? Is it under here? Okay, here it is, yeah. So it's gonna open up. Oh yeah, okay, here we go. So yeah, you tune up, and then after you've done that, then like have like a little fun warm up as well, and you can blend that into the tune up and the 10-minute kind of initiation, maybe playing through a tune that you love playing, or even just playing something that you love to play, because you want to like start off with like, okay, let's get into a good kind of a good mindset, right? You want to start off like that, and then don't forget to just, after you've done that, just have a little break to kind of stretch. All right, your hands, your arms, your back, your shoulders, just have a little breather. Make sure you have some water, and then get into something challenging. Get into something hard. So maybe it's a tune that you trying to learn. Maybe there's like a crazy melody line or something, or a type of bass line. Like, work on that, focus on that, or even be like, okay, you know, today I'm gonna just work on something challenging. I want to get better at playing, you know, half diminished chords. You know, playing over that. You know, so I might, you know, start something like, you know. So I might start like a little loop, and then just kind of just ease my way into like, okay. I don't try to like shred over it. I try to like just listen and have an idea of like, okay, what are the notes that I can play over this? And then I just freely take it from there. Even if I start playing all of the wrong notes and all that. But you need to be able to do that. That's what practicing is for, is to figure out how does this all work. So, you know, maybe you might do something like that, or something that is more technical. Maybe you're trying to get some work on your muting. Anything like that. Something hard, something challenging. Then take a break. And I would say, you know, for that something hard, you know, do that for at least like, you know, 20 minutes right there, 20 to 30 minutes. And just remember, I'm just packing all this into like a 1 hour session. Then make sure you take a little break, stretch, just like, you know, like a minute to just kind of just shake it out. Just do that. And even when you're practicing, you know, something hard, if something is just like, oh, okay, yeah, let me just break, just do that. Always listening to your body. And then from there, depending on what your time is, if you are doing a shorter practice session, then after that, I would recommend then going into something fun and enjoyable. So playing through some tunes or playing something that you really enjoy. All right. You can also use that to just maybe just freely play as well. Maybe you got some new effects or something. Just like have something that is, you know, that really inspires you, that reminds you of why you play the instrument. Or if you do have more time after you've had your break and stretch, go on to something hard. Again, like you can go back to what you were working on. Or if you were satisfied with what you were doing before, go on to something else that is challenging. All right? And take it from there. Remember, after that, have a little break, have a little stretch, and then go into something fun and enjoyable. And then I always recommend this, and again, depending on time, but I always recommend my students and anybody to, in your practice session, at least learn a new tune. Just learn one new tune. Anything. Jazz standard, a rock tune, a Steely Dan tune, a more traditional tune, anything. You know, like just, and you don't have to like know it by memory, but like at least start the process. Even if you don't learn the whole thing right there in the time that you have, at least start the process of like, okay, I'm learning this tune, and then you can come back to that maybe a little later or in your next practice session. And then the other thing, after you're done, make sure you just take a little time, a few minutes to just kind of reflect on what you just did. On what you did, whether you say it in a voice note of what you covered, you know, stuff that you write it down, anything that you practiced. What did you find challenging? What were some breakthroughs that worked for you, that you discovered? How were you feeling physically as well? That's always important to note because that affects the way that we play. How were you feeling mentally? Things like that. Just, you know, it doesn't have to be like pages and pages. Just keep track. hold yourself accountable to what you're doing, because then, you know, when you're looking back on things, you can look back and be like, oh, okay, that's when I was learning how to do this like melodic minor kind of thing. And then, you know, maybe like months later, you're like, hey, you know, I'm pretty fluid on that. It's like just coming out naturally in my playing. Or something technical. You can look back at when you were doing something, right? So that's always important in terms of trying to get the most efficiency and effective practicing. That's one of the ways that you can format it, all right, and adjust it to how long you're spending. Obviously, if you're spending 2 hours, which is great, then yeah, you can do a lot in there. You can put in a lot of time. But if you're really busy, and look, everyone is busy. Everyone has a busy schedule. I get it. And but if you can get in at least 30 minutes somewhere every single day, it all adds up. Even if it's just, playing along to some of your favorite tunes, or even just running something, you know, kind of a little more mundane. Do it. Be with the instrument every single day. Do something. All right. And again, how you can do that, just schedule it in with your regular day of everything else. You know, when you do that, you'll be able to find some time, pockets of time. You can even split it up over the course of the day. Maybe you do 30 minutes earlier in the day, you take care of your other stuff, and then later on, you can do another 30 minutes. You can do it like that, all right? Just be with the instrument every single day, you know, and that will really help you. So I hope that's helpful to you all. And, you know, a lot of, there's actually, if you look around, there is some, you know, Michael Brecker, who, you know, who we all know, who was one of the most technically proficient and innovative saxophone, you know, players around, you know, and we're talking, you know, like the post Coltrane kind of thing. And he was someone who took notes of, you know, all his practice sessions, and some of these practice notes are actually, you can find them if you just Google. You can find them of what he was practicing, and also how he was feeling and all that when he was practicing. It gives you some insight as to, you know, what these cats were working on. It really does. But, you know, always try to find something challenging, whether it's a new tune or a new technique or something that you saw, something that I've shown you here. Always find something to work on. And I'll tell you, if you study with me, whether you take a one-off lesson or you join my bass coaching program, trust me, I'll give you a lot of stuff to work on. You'll have lots of things. I'll keep you busy, but it won't be overwhelming. All right? It will be according to how your lifestyle is. All right? Links for all that are down below in the description box. John Axe is saying, I'm always scared to slap pluck on the C string because I think it's going to snap on my arm and face. Look, I'm not really into the sound of like the C string being popped. I think because maybe it's just too thin. You know, gang, 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 gang. But look, we've heard stories of things like that, of a string snapping, and but I'll tell you, the amount of times that I've snapped a string, it hasn't completely, you know, it hasn't been a clean break. Like if you were to literally get, you know, a pair of these and just go, it has some sort of it usually is the core that breaks, and then the winding is still there, so it just goes like so it's not going to go and if you're pulling up this way, it's not going to just go suddenly hit you in the face. We've heard stuff like that, but all the bassists and guitar players that I've talked to where they've snapped a string, not one of them has had it hit them in the face or like their arm or anything. And sure, does it sound intimidating when all the strings combined are pulling on a force of like over 200 pounds? Yeah, absolutely. But it's like when this breaks, it literally goes from that to like out to zero. So like all that kinetic energy, because it's so thin, the energy of it is just gone. It's not like like on like a big huge like steel cable. It's definitely not like that. And a B string, the chances of that, because it's so loose, the chances of that like just breaking it and trying to break a B string is pretty tough. Is pretty hard. It's really difficult. And the chances of any of these hitting you, is really low. So I'd say go ahead, just play it. But also, you don't need to when you pop, you really don't need to pull that hard. You really don't. That's the cool thing. So yeah, don't worry, John. You'll be fine. What's the best time signature? Oh, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I like playing in multiple time signatures. I love playing in 4, but I also love playing in 3. I love playing in 5, 6, which is, you just playing in 3 really. 7, I love playing. I like playing 9s, 11s, 13, and 15. I haven't really done 17, but 15, if you want to look at 15, you can just look at it as, something like 15/4. You can just look at it as like 3 bars of 4 and 1 bar of 3. So look at it as a 4 measure phrase. And the last measure of that phrase just has a quarter note taken out. Or if you're doing 15/8, it just has the last 8th note taken out. That's how that's how I look at it and feel it. So and when you're playing in different time signatures, you want it to. This is the thing. This is the thing I learned, and I've played in a lot of odd meters, where like I used to play. Well, first of all, my first experience playing odd meters, I would say, was when I was 13. We played this Dave Brubeck medley in this concert band that I was in. And if you know Dave Brubeck's music, especially the Blue Ronda a la Turk and all that, obviously Take 5. It was a medley of all those tunes. The medley was called It's About Time. So it was all the tunes that have all the messed up meters. And that was and I was just going off of feel when playing it. I wasn't going, oh my God, this thing is in like 9. Oh, this thing is in blah, blah, blah. I was just going off of how it was played. So obviously, right, when you get that groove in, you can feel it. You can feel where it starts, where it ends. You don't need to count it. And in something that was a little more complicated, like Blue Ronda a la Turk, you know, later on I learned that you could just do that as like a shuffle in 3. You know, if you were to take that, we're gonna have a funky good time. Playing in 9 is just like playing in 3, because you got 3 groupings of, you know, 3 groupings of 3 eighth notes. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Take the first note of each of those groupings. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But then where does the 9, 8 sit? Well, it's just accented in different parts of it. You know what I mean? So that's how I was able to, like, you're not, and you're still not counting it. It's still feel. It really is. So I've always gone off of feel for time signatures, playing odd meters for any of it. 7s, same thing. You know, a bar of 4, bar of 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. If it's a little faster, you know, like 7, 8, you know, that's a whole thing. It's just you play it evenly, but you need to be able to feel the 3 side of things. So when you play a bar of 3 or something that has a 3 in it, so like with 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not doing that. I'm just playing that first bit as if, like, you know, as if it's like, you know, I'm thinking like a drummer, as if there's a backbeat in there. And when you get to the 3, you can accent 2 dotted quarter notes. And when you put 2 dotted quarter notes in a bar of 3, it splits the measure in half, right? So if you got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, sorry, I'm doing that too fast. I'm doing like 4s. 1, 2, 3, 1, you know, you can do it like that. You can subdivide it. 3, 1, and so when you speed up the 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, you've got a 4/3 situation going on, right? So when you put that into 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, yeah, I'll just do a rhythmic loop, you know. Let's see. Yeah, let's try to. Yeah, so. And once you have this kind of like clave going, this kind of feel, you've internalized it, then you want to be able to freely play within it, just like how you might in 4/4. know what I mean? You still want to have this kind of nice fluid thing instead of feeling that you just have to be like, which, sure, let that be your home base, no pun intended, but feel free to kind of move in it. So again, in your practice session, if that's something that can be part of the challenge, like the challenging thing or something hard to work on, then maybe for like 20 minutes, you're like, okay, I want to practice just playing in 7. I might lose the 1 or whatever, but just get back on it. Set up a groove, right? Some sort of rhythm, whether you program it or whatever, or you can probably, find a drum loop that is in an odd meter and just practice along. Find some music that is like that too. Again, it's all about feel. I never count when I'm playing in odd meters. And the cats who are playing odd meters and all that, they don't either. Especially when it's something that has, continuity and consistency. It's just feel. If you think about a tune like, by Pink Floyd, Money. I'm like, am I in tune? Okay, just sounded off for some reason. Which is in 7, right? Those guys are not odd meter experts, but it was feel. They had this riff, and apparently, like, the way that they had recorded it, something happened with the machine or whatever, and it cut off, like, the last bit, and they were like, hang on, let's use that. That's kind of cool. But when you play that tune, you know how to play through it because you feel it. I was playing that tune when, like, I was really young. I didn't know what meter it was in. I just knew how to feel it. Even if you take something like, you know where it is. So it's just how is it coming out musically? Don't let the time signature intimidate you of what it is, because it actually will end up being more simpler than you thought, and you're like, oh, that's it. Okay. Feel. It's all feel. All the feels. Gil's asking, have you experienced a situation you're the only one member of the band working your butt off when the rest of the band doesn't really take it seriously? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's annoying. And depending on what the circumstances of it are, there's even been times where where that's been the case, and I've said, you know what, I'm going to respectfully pull out of this, because first of all, it really goes, and I've experienced this, your band is as great as its weakest member. Now, if you have several members who are not on point, and you're the only one who's really taking it seriously, then it's a drag. It really is. In so many ways. It's also, if you were assigned a bunch of tunes and some of them were really complicated, you did your homework, you took the time and dedication to do it, and nobody else did, or even just one person didn't, it's really annoying. It really is. And it's disrespectful. It's a slap in the face. Because it's like, when that happens, and the one person, especially if it's the drummer or the keyboard player, where like some tunes are complicated where they need those parts, then that time that you spent shedding, it's just like, I wouldn't say it's a waste of time, But it was just like, and you don't end up playing the tune because no one else can play it properly. Sure, it feels like a waste of time, but you are better off musically because you took the time to learn it. Even if you weren't going to play, if you don't end up playing it, you figured some stuff out. I've been there many times, and I had to look at it as, that was the takeaway in it. But also, I've made, and it got to the point where I had to make the decision and be like, okay, I need to be around musicians that are that are serious about what they do. And exactly, people are going to people. Absolutely, people are always going to people. But if you are trying to have a good reputation and be playing gigs and work your way up, to play better gigs and to play with the people that you want to play with, then you need to be prepared. All right. And you need to be around people who are doing that same thing, And that was something that's, that my wife, she really opened that up for me as well. Like, you need to be around people who are going to take this seriously, who are going to have your best interests and who want the same things that you want, and people who are going to lift you up. And that's what you need to be around, especially if you're trying to be a pro. Be around the pros. I have a student, he's a great young bassist. He is, in a few years, he's definitely going to be one of those cats who is playing a lot of with a lot of heavyweights. He's got so much potential and he works really hard. But his thing was that he was hanging around musicians who weren't taking things seriously. Not just people who are his age, but people who are twice his age. And I had to have a pep talk with him, be like, okay, you live in one of the biggest cities in the world, one of the biggest and most vibrant music scenes. You need to go where your thing is, first of all, that you're going to feel inspired and motivated and be like, oh, okay, these are the people I need to play with. And so he finally went to some shows where there was a very high level and got to meet some people, and he was like, okay, this is where I need to be. Because he was getting frustrated with the people that he was playing with. They weren't taking things seriously. They weren't, and just making excuses and all that. And I'm like, you have to, the decision is yours, whether you want to change that for yourself for the better. That's up to you. If you don't, then I don't want to hear it. As simple as that. And that's the thing. If you're in my coaching program, if you need a pep talk, I'll give you a pep talk, to really get you going. Because sometimes you need that. And that's what a mentor is there for. I have gotten that many times from my mentors. And I absolutely love them for it. It has helped me in so many, not just in music, but also just in life in general. All right. John Axe is saying the keys player works. So you're currently experiencing that with a college band that you play drums with. Oh, I don't know. You play drums? That's cool, man. Multi-talented, man. The key player works his butt off, and so do I, but the horns and bass player don't want to expand, and they play easier songs. Yeah, see, you don't need to be around that, Sure, like, yeah, you want to play and all that, but, like, if that's not what you are trying to get to, you need to be around the people that are like, no, let's play some hard stuff. Like, let's really challenge ourselves. You want to be around people that are going to kick your butt, that are better than you, right? For me, I would rather play with young cats who are not who don't have as much experience, but are hungry and are willing to really put in the time and the dedication and are really interested and want to get better. I would rather play with that than cats who have been playing for a long time and just want to phone it in. Right now, I'm playing with this young local drummer. He's like 17, but he's really keen on playing, and he's a nice player. He's got some nice time. He's figuring out some things, and we have chats and conversations. I send him some music to kind of check out and be like, okay, you need to check this out, man, and he listens. He really wants to play. He wants to try out some things. Hey, can we try playing Summertime in like 7? Sure, let's give it a go. You want to do that? That's what I love to be around. That's what like experienced cats wanted to be around. That's another reason why I got to play with people like Peter Erskine and John Beasley and Billy Childs and Mike Stern, all the people that I've listed on my resume, is because I was this young cat who wanted to play and was willing to do it. That's how you have a band like Chick Corea Electric Band, all those cats at the time, John Patitucci, Dave Weckl, Eric Marienthal, Frank Gambale, they were in their 20s. Chick was already like almost 40. But they were these young cats. They had dreamed of playing with Chick Corea, and they were just ready. They were like little puppies, just like ready to just like, Chick is like got the treats and all that, and he's dishing them out, and they're like, ow, 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 ow. And they were ready for anything. And that's why Chick could like just throw all these complicated tunes out to them and be like, all right, let's play this. And they would do it. Sure, was it difficult? Was it tough? Absolutely. But they were ready. They wanted it. You know what I mean? That's how I was, with the people that I've been able to play with. Like, oh, wow, okay, yeah. Because everything that I've been practicing by myself or jamming with friends and all that has, been leading up to those moments. That's what that is right there. And it's not a thing of like, oh, I'll wait for the perfect. Sometimes the perfect time or the moment or the opportunity comes to you when you least expect it. And you just got to be like, yeah, okay, let's do it. We'll figure it out. We'll just do it. Do I need to learn how to play in 13? Okay, I'll figure it out. And I did. Sure, you're gonna scrape your knees or whatever, but you just get back up. And when these older cats, these experienced cats, because they're always looking for the next generation on who to pass it down to, and they want to see these young cats who are going to carry that torch. They'll work with the young cats to ensure that, and also appreciate what the young cats have to offer. But if you're just trying to just phone it in, take the easy way out, nah. A little bit of, kind of went off there. I appreciate you all hanging out. This has been some really cool stuff to talk about. And if you haven't, please like and subscribe. Also, check out my links down below in the description box. All my bass resources for my courses. If you want to study with me one-on-one, where you just want to take just one lesson with me. For 30 minutes or 60 minutes. Even if you want in that session, even if you want to just play for me and just get some feedback, and to where I can tell you, okay, these are some things that you need to work on. Just so you can have an idea of like, okay, what do I need? And just get someone to give you some feedback. You can do that with my straight to the point sessions. You want to get a more longer kind of program where I put together a roadmap that's just for you on whatever your bass journey is, whatever you're trying to achieve with your bass playing. You can join my bass coaching program, and I'm so fortunate and just absolutely I feel just so honored to work with some incredible musicians from all over the world. in this program. It's one of my favorite things to do. And, we get to know each other really well because we'll be communicating every week. You get feedback on your playing every single week. So you have someone to guide you and to give you a pep talk whenever you need it. But, someone who's going to hold you accountable. That's me, because I absolutely believe in you. And this is open to all levels. You don't have to be a pro level player. I have a few beginner bassists, people who are starting out for the first time. But, they are interested, they are excited. So if you're serious, you really want to level up your bass playing, join my program. I'll help you out. I want to see you succeed. I want to help you with that. Because when we have more bass players in any music scene around the world who are playing at like just a really great level, playing high level, we can have some really great like music. We can have some really great bands, great musicians. That's what we want. And was John Axe saying, it irks you every time when you're playing. You've been contemplating leaving for a few months now. Look, it gets to a point where you can't say yes to absolutely everything, You need to have boundaries. And that was something that was hard for me. Because I just wanted to play on all kinds of gigs. But it was something that actually benefited me because it meant that I had more space to be able to play things that I wanted to play, whether it was my own projects or being able to be available for other things. I've had to make certain sacrifices, just in order to be able to pay bills. Do gigs that, I didn't really want to do. But I still came in with a good professional mindset and didn't. I left whatever my outside feelings, I left that at the door. I just came in, do the gig, be respectful, play it to the best of my abilities. Don't be causing any trouble or anything. And then just move on. And you gotta find joy in what you do. You got the moody music going on. And again, I appreciate you, K-Hund or Kund. I'm not sure how to put it, 03. But it's great to have you here. And John's saying, I guess my main reason I stayed is because the city, my college, is pretty small, doesn't have much of a music scene like London does. Yes, look, there's always going to be certain variables. You do the best that you can, all right? But you can't but you have to try and make the best out of a situation. Sometimes it gets like that. It's not optimal, but just know that, like, if you want it to, it can get better from there. And you're only in London for a summer break. Look, and make the most out of that summer break so that you can set things up for the future, right? You try to have fun, be professional, but I want to be pushed. Yeah. So when you're in London, John, you're young, go to all the places where the cats are happening. I'll give you a recommendation. One of my good friends, incredible drummer from New Zealand, he lives in London. His name is Maili Manzanza. Incredible drummer. And he does a late night Ronnie Scott's residency. So if you find him on IG, Maeli Manzanza, incredible musician. I've known him since we were teenagers, but he's really made a thing for himself. And I would say maybe start there, and some other places. Just go be in it. Meet the people, and even organize some like playing sessions with some people that are killing. Don't wait to be called. Try and set things up for yourself. Even if it's not a gig, just a session where you can just play. You just got to try and make the best of that. But you're young, man. You got a lot of years ahead of you. Be persistent, all right? And, but don't burn yourself out, all right? Don't forget to take care of yourself in all aspects. And this goes for everyone as well, all right? When pursuing any of your musical endeavors and dreams, visions, or whatever, don't forget to take care of yourself, all right? Reach out to your community as well if you need help for anything, all right? Don't try to do everything yourself, all right? Make sure you have some good support system. Make sure you have some good friends that you can trust, all right? It's really important, especially when coming up as a young musician. We think we're invincible. I was like that, but it's not the case, all right? So, cool. So you found him. I'm going to do some playing. I've done a lot of talking here, we've talked about some real deep stuff, which is great. And this is what I love here at Bass with Benjamin. This is what it's about. It's about the music, but it's also about the person that makes the music as well. You. It really is. It's so important. But maybe we'll play some music right now. And since I was talking about some complicated music, or just things that I had to play that was difficult, maybe I'll do one of those tunes. I haven't played this one in a while, but I'm going to play a Billy Childs tune. Billy Childs, if you don't know, is an incredible, what's my iPad doing? An incredible pianist, composer, musician, one of the greatest. And his gig, just playing his music was definitely those moments for me of where, oh, okay, it's serious. Playing some serious, music. I got to spend the time to shed it. That was a moment where, okay, when people saw that I was playing with Billy, they're like, oh man, he's playing with Billy? Well, then this kid is serious. Then he could play my music, because this music is pretty complex. I'm gonna play one of his tunes. I might play another one of his tunes after. We'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling. But I haven't played this tune the last time I played it was a year ago on the live stream, and I sight read it, and I'm gonna sight read it again. Talk about odd time signatures that goes all over the place. This is one of those tunes. It has stuff that is like changing all the time, and you'll hear it. Let me bring up the track. This one is called The Starry Night, and he originally recorded this in the early 90s, and this the album that he recorded this on won a Grammy, and this was in 1994. But this has Billy playing piano, and also, what's going on here? Trying to say this, Billy on piano. Bob Shepard is playing soprano sax. Michael Baker is playing drums. Incredible drummer who played a lot with Whitney Houston, like in the late 80s, 90s. And through to the 2000s, he toured with her a lot. As well as he played with Joe Zawinul Syndicate. Where is this tune? Starry Night. Here we go. So there might be some hiccups. There might be some little mistakes I might do because I haven't read through this in a while. I know I shouldn't be making excuses, but it's my live stream. I don't care. You know, that's just how it is. So I'm going to play Starry Night by Billy Childs. Here we go. God, yo. So that's what I got myself into when, you know, Billy was like, "Hey, Ben, man, I'd love to play with you, man. I heard some real good things, man. Here, I'm gonna send you a few tunes of mine, man. You check them out, and we can get together and play." And he like sends, this is one of them, and I was like, "Well, let me get to practicing." And then, you know, then obviously I spent a lot of time listening to this and shedding it. And then when I showed up to his house and it was just him and me, we played through these tunes, and he was like, "Oh, you know, it was great. It was a lot of fun." And then, yeah, you know, and then he started calling me for gigs and all that. And, you know, we traveled and, you know, we played in Japan and all that. So it was really cool. John Curtis, what's up, man? Good to see you. That is a wicked tune. I'm gonna play another Billy Childs tune because his music, it keeps you on your toes, and they're just really, they're just fun to play, and they're complicated, but they're fun. And this was something that it was almost like it was the adrenaline rush of like having to learn these tunes and playing these tunes on the gig, which was just really exciting. Some people might think I'm just absolutely just nuts. Be like, oh, why would you want to do it? It's like, well, I wanted to be a better musician. I wanted to play with these cats. And so I learned the music that they sent me, or I learned their music just because I wanted to learn their music. And here we are now. So I'm going to play another tune of his, something that he recorded more recently, Dance of Shiva, which has some pretty insane kind of rhythms going on. You'll hear. This is also another, like, where's one kind of situation. Where is the one? Where is the one? Where is the one? Where is the one you said you'd play for me? I don't know. I'm just my good old dad jokes, nerdy musician jokes. All right, Dance of Shiva, loading it up here. And on this track, this has Eric Holland on drums. Incredible, monstrous drummer. And Steve Wilson is playing sax on this, I believe. And the original bassist was Hans Glavishnig, who's absolutely monstrous bass player, upright bassist. Plays a little bit of electric. On the last track I played, Starry Night, the original bassist on that is Jimmy Johnson, the great Jimmy Johnson, who, and if you listen to the original track of Starry Night, now just keep in mind you won't be able to find it on like your streaming platforms, but someone has uploaded it to YouTube just because that album is out of print. It was originally, I think was it on Windham Hill, I think that one, and you know that got bought out and there's whole thing. But check out the original version because Billy did do a re-recorded version with this lineup right here. But the original version is that's the sound, and Jimmy's bass playing on that is just, oh my God, Jimmy's just one of the best. All right, track. Come on, you can do it. Load up for me. Do this. Even the track. The computer's trying to figure out what time signature the track is in. There you go. You can do it. You can do it. So it starts off with this interesting ostinato bass line that's in 4, but then it does change to 7, and then there's 2 bars of 9/8. Then there's 2 bars of 6/4. And then it goes back to 9/8. Yeah, exactly. Even just explaining it is insane. All right, here we go. Dance of Shiva. Good Lord. Good grief. That's some crazy stuff. But I love it. I absolutely love it. I love it. And definitely the first time, especially that rhythm. Boom, 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 dun, 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 you know, just getting that under my fingers was definitely a challenge at first. And it's in the muscle memory in terms of the feel. Obviously, if I was going to be playing a gig with Billy where I had to play all this music, yeah, I would sit down and I would spend some time preparing and shedding this music so that I felt really good about it. both those tunes, I would say, you know, at least 90% accuracy on playing through them. I'm going to play one more tune, but I'm going to play something that is not what I just played. I'm going to play... I'm just going to play some Pocket, man, because that's kind of fun. Which one do I want to play? Let's see. And I appreciate you all hanging out. You guys are awesome. So cool. Really great to just connect with you all. That's why I love doing this. Whoever shows up, it's always great to just connect, and whatever I can do to help you with your bass playing. This is what Bass with Benjamin is all about. This is why I do this. I love this instrument so much. The bass, whether it's bass guitar, upright bass, I absolutely love it. It's a big part of who I am, and I know it's the same thing for a lot of you as well. And it's really cool that wherever we are in the world, we can share the same passion for this instrument that we absolutely love. So let's play a little Earth, Wind & Fire. Why not? Let me try that again. After playing all that, and even trying to play this. Trying to play the chords, I'm like, what are the chords? Something like that. Anyway, folks, while I figure out how to do my loop pedal here. Thanks again. Thanks so much for hanging out. It's so great to see you. Great questions. Really great hang. And don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel here. And if you want to help support the channel, you can buy me a coffee or some sort of caffeinated beverage. There is a link down below over there for my Ko-fi Ko-fi page, where you can do so. Wouldn't mind some sort of latte. That would actually be pretty nice. But also, all the links to my Bass with Benjamin resources are down below in the description box. To my courses, you want to take a lesson with me, just a one-off, you can do that. If you want to join my bass coaching program, the information is down there. All the links down below. If you're unsure what it is that you need some help with in your, like if you were wanting to join a coaching program, or just anything that you're just unsure of, you can actually, on the page for the coaching programs, you can actually schedule a video chat with me, and we can talk about how we can achieve your bass goals and which program would be best for you. So that's all over there in the description box. So check them out. Again, thank you so much. Really great to hang with you. And again, whatever I can do to help you in your bass journey, it's what I'm here for. All right? So wherever you are in the world, you take care. Be safe. Find the joy in what you do. Playing music, playing with others, and really enjoy yourself. Have fun. right, folks. Take care, and I'll see you again soon, all right? See you next time, folks.